Legends, welcome to the Gym Boss Podcast. I'm Jimmy. I'm your host as always. And today we've got a special guest, Mr. Tim Frey. He is the owner and founder of Helix Gym over in Perth, Australia. And I'll introduce him properly in a minute. But what we're actually going to be talking about is how to transition yourself, the gym owner, out of doing the sales for your gym and bringing on a full-time salesperson, so then you can further systemize and automate your business so you're out of the day-to-day of that part, because he's actually done that successfully. Before we even go into all that though, anytime during this podcast you're listening to this and you want to find out more about how we can actually do your advertising for you, go on over to iwantgymleads.com. That's iwantgymleads.com. You can go over there, you can see some of the client work that we've done, and be sure to book in a time to speak with us so we can walk you through the process and see how it can actually work for you. But with that out of the way, Tim, thank you so much for coming on, my man. I'm just going to do a little bit more of an intro for you. He's a strength and conditioning facility that's, as you're saying just before we got on here, based off the college sports from the States, because you actually lived over in the States and learnt all your craft over there.
Yeah, lived and worked in Arizona.
Man, I love it. And his facility is obviously got all that knowledge and all that skills that he learned over there. Brought it back to Perth and opened his own gym. And it's a premium facility. We'll talk more about his price points and stuff like that. So it's not your low end stuff. This is high end in terms of price point and also in terms of delivery of the program. He's actually got 4 full-time staff working within the gym, and his sales guy, which is what we're actually interested in. Been open for about the past 6 years. But yeah, Tim, thanks for coming on, my man.
Thanks for having me, man. Looking forward to hopefully dropping some knowledge bombs on the crew and the listeners.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Because literally, Tim and I, we've actually been exchanging services. So I've been helping Tim out with a bit of his ad stuff. He's been helping me out with some training stuff for myself personally. And we just sort of got chatting, and I was just like, hey, man, that's actually a pretty good thing that I want to bring up for the podcast. Because I've got a whole bunch of clients that we generate a lot of new business for them. But one of the first things that happens is like, whoa, like I'm spending all my time on sales. I need to get help with actually outsourcing that part or recruiting for that part of the business. So then you can look at the bigger picture and be able to drive the business forward. So that would be super interesting to hear about that. But before we even go into that, can you tell the guys a little bit more about your gym? Like, you know, how many members have you got, and how long have you had the sales guy in place and all that?
Yeah, so the gym's an interesting story. Everyone went through the COVID thing, and we came out of COVID, and we did really well through COVID. Came out of it, and we came back, and the restrictions were in, so we could only have 9 people in the gym, and I had like 140 members at the time. And obviously, you know, the time slots just don't work out, so something had to change. The economics of the business were broken, so I was like, cool. Prices had to go up quite substantially for me to make that model work and work out the margins and the coach pay and all that kind of stuff. And we had to increase prices. So there was the great cull, as we call it in Helix history, where we lost a substantial amount of clients. We dipped pretty low at that point, but you know, we increased our prices by 30 to 40% at that time, and now we're back up. We're over 100 now. We're back down to like 50 after COVID. At our peak, we're at 200 before COVID, but managed a lot. So currently, the price point sits. We do 3, 6, and 12-month contracts, and our lowest price point is 95 a week, and then they go up to 140. So it's more in the premium category of S&C, especially a little bit out of the city in Perth. But I think we are the most price point premium facility in WA in our category.
I love it, man. And just people probably going to ask, like, how many people do you have? Like, if someone's paying $95 a week, how many people are per session?
There is 8 to 9 is our capacity.
Cool. That's great. I love it. It's kind of like on that edge of sort of semi-private, but it's definitely semi-private pricings. Because what do you go up to? What's your top tier?
The top tier is 140 a week.
Yeah, see, that's great. I know there's a lot of people sitting on here going, wow. It works out to be what, $500, $600 a month if you sort of look at it like that.
Yeah, it's definitely at the premium. It was like we should step up and deliver the service and the value. Like previously, before that, our lowest tier was like 50 a week. And yeah, everyone that left, or a lot of people that left, were at that tier when we did the price increase. But yeah, literally since then we haven't had a single cancellation, and everyone's been gravy. I don't get like 1,000 messages from people that are like pissed off or angry or hate the world or something like that anymore. And that was generally that type of person.
Mate, I love it, because if anybody listening has heard me on my previous podcast, know that I've come from a background of having 3 locations purely semi-private with 4-on-1. And yeah, our lowest price point was $125 a week. So I'm a massive proponent for being premium, but you got to warrant that price point by delivering the service and delivering the value. You can't just put your price up and not change anything, you know.
100%. There's definitely there.
So let's dive into now the actual sales part. How did you get to the point, like, you were obviously doing your sales yourself? When did you make the transition, and how did you go about it?
Well, like I kind of thought like this business has relied on me so heavily that after COVID came back, and I was like, you know what, like it's time to like run this like a proper fucking business, and less like a one-man band. So I just trained the staff on our sales process. So the sales process is we get the lead, we have a pre-qualifying script, they call, they make them price aware or not, we invite them in for a trial. At that trial, after the trial, they are price aware, they do like the product, and then our sales guys or girls will sit down with them, run through some questionnaires, and then do a sales deck or a pitch. And then we'll close that person into a 6-week offer, and then we'll upsell them at the end of the 6 weeks. Our upsell ratio, yeah, we sell about 80% upsell into the 6 weeks, and 95% of people that come into the gym for the trial will sign up to the 6 weeks. So yeah, the ratios and stats are good. It was a bit of a process. So the process of getting to that level was I trained my head coach in sales. So we just ran the script, did all the training, did all that stuff, went back and forth for weeks. She got her close rate really good, really high. So she was closing, 9 out of 10. At that point, we trained our 2IC, and then we trained another coach in it as well. So 3 trained on sales. And then I was like, cool. I would notice the team, because like the limiting factor is making the calls. And if you're not making the calls, you're not booking the trials, you're not booking the trials, you're not making sales. So I knew the limiting factor was making calls. So I was like, cool, I need another person making sales. And this person is not going to be a coach. They're going to be a proper sales person. So I was like, cool, who loves the business, who wants a bit of money, or who wants to make some additional income, and who, wants to help out. So the best place to look was in the business at our current clients of people that were interested. So there was a guy I had in mind, and I just asked him, I was like, do you want to be a sales guy? I asked him how much he wants to make per week. He told me a number. I, reverse engineered it, and I thought, cool, we can make this happen by commission. And he works on a commission basis at the moment. So for the 6-week package, we sell that package in full. For every one of those he sells, he gets $100. You do a couple of those a week. And then for the long-term packages, they get a percentage of the long-term package of the total pay. So they're getting the opportunity. So if they make, say they make 3 calls, they get 1 answer, that one comes in for a trial, they sell them, and it's $100. But then all they got to do is nurture the relationship for 6 weeks. And at the end of the 6 weeks, if they get the upsell, then they get, quite a bit of substantial money. It works out to be like $500. If they sign up for 12 months, they get $500.
Wow.
Plus.
So they get double commission. So they get the initial sale, and then they get the upsell sale as well.
Yeah. But that doesn't work if you only do month by month or week by week. So we have 3, 6, and 12 months. That is it. And the more commission is, the longer the person stays on.
Yep. 3, 6, and 12-month options. That's great, man. There's a lot of info to unpack there, but that's cool.
Yeah, I was going for it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So can we just go back, because I'm trying to write it down just real quick. Your process, so people can understand, at the very beginning is you get a lead, then you've got a pre-qualification phone script.
Yep.
Right. So the phone script. Then you make them price aware, or maybe not price aware. It just depends.
No, we do. We always say the price. So we give a range. So we say our lowest to our highest. And then we say, is that within budget for you? And if they say, I don't know, we're like, well, cool. So you've got a Lamborghini and you've got a Holden Commodore, and we are the Lamborghini in Perth. So where do you want to be? And then they're like, all right, cool. I'll come try. And then if they come try, it's like the environment we've got is pretty infectious, like you want to be around.
Yep. I've seen your Instagram stories with your tunes you're pumping there. So the lead pre-qual script, price aware over the phone, get them to at least agree to a trial. And so that's where you invite them in for a consult for the trial.
Yeah, so we invite them for a free session. At
So,
that point,
just to go back a bit, the marketer in me is asking, what are you advertising then?
so we're advertising a 6-week program that is like what all our systems are built around. So we have like our lead nurture system, we have our 6-week onboarding emails, we have like 2, 4, and 6-week check-ins. It's like if I were to change my offer, it would really fuck with things.
But in saying that, do you ever close people right there over the phone for the 6-week?
So like I've tried it, but it was just like, our gym is, we're snatching, we're doing handstands. It's like very high intensity and like powerful, and that doesn't fit for everyone. So the trial is for like not just if they like us, it's if we think they're a good fit, and if they're not a good fit for us, it's like it's not going to work, but people do get overwhelmed with it.
Yeah, sounds awesome. My kind of gym, anyways. But as you said, it's not for everybody.
Nah.
So we're at the price aware part. Then you invite them in for a trial, regardless.
Yeah. Or like we see how it feels, like if you get that connection on the phone and there's like an energetic connection, the team always like, they'll report their calls and they'll be like, yeah, this person will be a good fit. They sounded good, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of know what's coming up, but then we meet them in person. Like if you guys are doing this on the outside, you can just close them on the phone. That's fine. But it was like, for us, it worked way better when we met the person and we knew if they were going to be a good fit.
Cool. So then you've got them in the consultation, and then missed a few steps because I was writing, but you were talking about, something with a pitch deck and stuff like that. So what's the next part?
So after that, we go through like some questions. So it's like, what's your goal? Why is that important to you? Why do you want to achieve the goal?
More pre-qualifying stuff.
Yeah. What's your nutrition like? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, blah, 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 blah. And then we have some information about them a bit more than we did on the phone. Yeah. And then we go into a pitch deck. So the pitch deck's like, cool. We were founded in, 2000 and whatever, 2015. We've trained 3,000 people. We've got 200 Facebook reviews, like blah, blah, blah. And then we go around like the Helix method of what we do and how we get them a result, how we would personally get them a result. Here's our testimonials. Here's before and afters. Here's people that were like you when you started and now they look like this. Here's so-and-so and he started out, not doing this and now he's here. Oh, and then at the end we have like our, here's our program. You get X amount of sessions a week, you get nutrition, you get training, you get 24/7 access, you get blah, blah, blah. And today I can do you a deal, Jimmy, and you can sign up for $549.
And then the price reveal.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. So that pitch deck process is pretty cool. It's interesting. I've heard other variations of that, but I like that you've formalized it. Is that it's the history, then you go over the method, then you go over your testimonials, like before and afters, talking about actually telling the story of the testimonial, not just like here's some pictures.
Yeah.
And then here's our program, like the value stacking the value, and then price reveal, and then
objection handling. And I always go like it doesn't happen often, probably like, 1 in 10's like, I don't know. And I'm like, cool, what are you not sure about? And then I just start defeating objections from there. If I do it, but the team do all this now.
Cool. I like it. And so there are other, I'm not going to get you to change your sales process at all, but there are some people that has helped me with sales well back in the day. It was like reveal the price first, then talk about the program. And then that way it's had time to sort of settle in and you can build the value on the price instead of like, here it is, and then revealing the price. But, 6 of one.
I could see that working as well. Just depends.
Yeah. But you don't want to mess with something if it's already working. That's the key.
No, that's what so many people have like, yeah, you should go for landing pages on your ads. You should do this. And I'm like, no. Leads ads, they work. And that's cool. We get a good conversion. So last month, all said and done, we closed 31 sales at 549. And I didn't make any sales.
So at 549 times by 31, that's 17 grand in upfront cash. Yeah. $17,019.
Yeah.
And that's all in 1 month. And this is why I wanted to bring you on, so people can hear those sort of numbers and understand that obviously it didn't happen overnight for him, but it took the time. He heard that he trained 1, 2, 3, 4 people, maybe more, of ones that didn't quite work out. Four
Yeah.
people to get to this point, but now he's at the point where his advertising's going, sales team is happening, and he's just there now driving the vision of the business forward.
You got to get good marketing though. So you got to hire Jimmy to do that for you.
I did not pay him to say that, but yeah, I want gymleads.com. Go over there, check it out, guys.
But yeah, that is the kink in my funnel at the moment is the leads, which I will sort out eventually. But
we're working on it for you. Yeah,
we're working on it.
Yeah. But okay, now we've talked about your process, which is really cool. People are like, okay, that's great. Like maybe people listening to this are going, yeah, that's cool. Like I can sell already anyways. But how do you get the salesperson, which you've already sort of touched on a little bit? And can you go a little bit more into like the pay structure for that person and like their working schedule and sort of how it fits into like a daily or weekly sort of rotation?
Yeah, so I wanted to keep it pretty gentle because I know I wanted to keep it pretty chill as I knew this salesperson would probably have other projects and other stuff they wanted to do if they were studying or whatever, or they wanted to, have their own business or other side thing, whatever. So I was like, cool. If I set up a KPI, like they make $20 a day, I'm happy, $20 a day and my team do a couple of dials and, then we'll cover all the leads and everyone gets called, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of was like KPI, $20 a day. In terms of the pay structure, so yeah, as I said before, they get $100 for the 6 weeks challenge that they sell. So they call, pre-qual, meet them, have a chat, and then sell them. That's it. And then for the 3-month package, they get 1 week. For the 6-month, they get 2 weeks, and for the 12-month, they get paid 4 weeks of the membership. So essentially, the 12-month works out to be like nearly $500 they get, and I pay that every quarter. So that adds up for the quarter, and at the end of the quarter, I pay all the sales staff out for the long-term packages, but I pay the upfront packages initially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. 100%.
Then like someone signs up for 12 and, you're like, cool, I owe this salesperson $500, but I haven't even collected anything of it. So you just like cash flow negative off the bat. So
if you did, yes. So that's why you wait to accumulate a 3 months worth.
Yeah, something at least.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. It's really simple. I like it. And what was some of the characteristics you were looking for in the salesperson? You said you sort of looked internally, but like, what was it about that guy that you go, you're cool as it? That was a good sales guy.
Well, he's a people person. He loves training. Very personable. Had quite a softer voice. He wasn't like a real alpha-ish dude. And I didn't want the like, hey man, you need to sign up with us now, like kind of guy on the phone. So yeah, that the main characteristics were people person, loves fitness, loves training, loves nutrition, and like had a softer tone. That's kind of what I looked for, and I thought that would work for us. Other than that, like our head coach is a female, and she outsells a lot of people. I don't know why. I'm not going to get into that debate, but
I'll tell you this: ladies are better at sales. They're just
dude, she was like,
it's crazy.
She did a lot of sales for us. Has done a lot of sales for us recently, especially when we run like female ads. Like she gets a really high conversion, and then a guy will call the female ad, and they'll be like, "Fuck no! Like I'm not answering this."
That's crazy. So people person, loves diet, loves training, softer spoken, not your typical alpha, what people would think a closer, phone sales or person would have to be like. And they're kind of like the three major characteristics.
Yeah, it's nothing like I didn't go real deep on it, and I didn't really overthink it. I was like, I could mold this dude into what I need. And then obviously like we were recording calls and, like role playing and perfecting stuff as we went on. So there were a few other things in terms of, the process and the method behind it.
That's cool. Yeah. So I think that's great because we've covered what characteristics you look for. You looked internally to your existing clients, which means they're an advocate for your brand and what you're all about and your values as well, which is huge. Because one of the biggest things you've got to have in sales is conviction and belief. And if they don't have conviction and belief about the product and service that they're trying to sell, then it's no point. But you've already got that in spades if you're looking for a client that's paying you money.
Yeah. So if I were at another gym owner and I was looking to implement something like this, I would just you got to find out what motivates people. And if it's money, then you dangle the money carrot. If it's like rewards or like presents or something, then you say, oh, cool. At the end of the month, if we hit 30 sales, we're going to go out to a team dinner to the Crown, or, wherever we're going to go, and we're going to go for a big pizza. Or if it's like presents or something like that. Like, I always think about that. So with our team, we have our celebration at the end of the month, which is on the first day of the new month. We celebrate the last month. And then the more sales is the more celebration we have, and the more money I put in the kitty and stuff like that as well. So there are like other incentives that we do.
That's cool. And so you touched a little bit on it as well about what happens with their day-to-day work. So do you get them to record every single phone call?
Nah, if their numbers are shit, I will get them to record calls. So we do our KPIs on Monday every week. So we do our team KPIs and then personal KPIs. So it's how many dials they made. Then it is how many trials they booked, how many trials showed up, and then how many sales they closed. And then I work out some ratios and percentages off there. And if some are like struggling compared to others, then I'll look at dials and, check their phone, and then I'll ask them to tape calls and that kind of stuff. So I just try to get everyone to a certain level of closing.
Cool. And so you look big picture first and then dial into the finer details if you have to.
Yeah, if we have to.
Yeah, cool. And man, I'm loving all this, by the way. This is great because it's so simple. And I think
I'm a simple guy, so I keep things very simple.
But I think that's like with anything, when people try and do anything that they have never really done successfully in the past, they make it more complex in their mind than what it has to be. And I think that's a big barrier for a lot of people is like, okay, like, how do I pay this guy? What do I do? Where do I find good people? They go to seek.com and then go, look, I'm looking for a salesperson. That's the worst place to look, by the way. Don't ever do that. And then, you know what I mean? They start putting all these extra barriers in their way, which they don't know that they're doing. Instead, like, simplify it down to its core principles, right? What needs to happen.
I would just look within for all that kind of stuff. Like, look within the gym if there's someone that might be interested. Train up a few people, have a few people on the go. Don't rely on someone. Don't rely on one person is what I mean, because shit happens and stuff goes down the drain. So yeah, I'll train up in the future. I'll train up all my staff I ever have on sales just to make sure they can do it and they can close.
That's awesome. And does your salesperson operate inside the gym, or are they doing the calls from home and then they're doing the in-person consultations as well?
Yeah, so they do the calls from wherever they want. I've got no issues wherever they do the calls, but they will come to meet the person for the session, maybe towards the end of the session. So they'll be like, hey, cool, Tim's going to meet you at 3:30. He's the head coach. He's going to be taking your session. I'll meet you there, a little bit later. And then if they don't want to come in, if they want to, that's up to them. As long as they're there towards the back end of the session, 15 minutes. And then they say, cool, are you good to have a chat? And then take them into our office, have a chat with them, and then start the process.
Right. Okay. So I wasn't aware of that. So the phone call happens and then they invite them in actually for a session. Yeah. And so you actually just take it through and you meet them first in the gym because you're the head coach. And
whoever the coach is. So we have our coach is.
Yeah.
We just have our team chat on WhatsApp or whatever. And we'll say it goes in our team calendar, so-and-so trial at 4:15. So everyone knows, they just check the calendar and they know there's a trial coming in. So we book that all on Calendly on our team calendar. So we have all our trials for the week, who's coming in, and they're just aware.
Oh, cool. So you actually get them through a physical demonstration, like actually training first.
Yeah.
And then
every single
salesperson has to come in, has to be present towards the back end. So then they can be like, Damo, high five him or whatever, if you can, if you're allowed to with COVID, wherever you are. Yeah. And then at the end they go, hey man, you enjoyed the session. Let's have a chat now. And then they run through that process we went through before with the pitch deck and everything.
Yeah. And then if that doesn't work for the salespeople or there's conflicts in calendar, then someone else will take the pitch deck and then they'll split the commissions.
Got it, because they set the appointment and the other person closed the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And when you say, people are probably going to ask a couple of different things here, I can think off the top of my head. How do you organize all this in terms of like, do you have one person that's solely responsible for the leads and making sure that everything happens? Do you have any like bits of software or something, or do you just use like Google Sheets, or like what do you do?
So I'm not going to try to overwhelm people, but I will tell you the full process here.
Yeah.
So from the most simple point of view, we get the lead, it goes on a G sheet. Everyone has access to the G sheet. Every month, a new G sheet gets populated. As well, an auto text goes out from ClickSend to all the sales staff. as soon as we get the lead. So that, and then the auto text says, call this person immediately. So it's a fight for the lead.
I like it.
Yeah.
You're creating a
And
little
then,
bit of competition inside.
yeah, there's a competition between the staff. So they'll call them, and then usually I'll follow up at the end of the day in our group chat text, and I'll be like, cool, what happened with X, Y, Z lead? I just take the leadership and management role of it. And then the client gets an automated text. So I actually got this from Tucky Moore. I think his example is like the Susan Leathers. So when you go into like, I'm going to butcher this, but basically when you go into this certain shop, you want a leather couch, you can get it in XYZ color, you get it in this, and this style, and this, and this is coming up. So I was like, cool, how can I use that for gyms? So they'll get an auto text and it'll be like, hey, Jimmy, thanks for inquiring about our program. What's going to happen next? Number one, you're going to book in a free phone call, send them the link that goes on there. Step two, we're going to call you and hear about your goals. Step three, you're going to come in for a free session. And then step four is you're going to get an email from us with some more steps.
Just telling them, assuming the process as well.
Yeah, it's assuming the process.
And so that's on every single lead gets that.
Yeah, every single lead gets the exact same text.
That's actually cool. I'm going to steal that for my marketing for my clients, dude. See, look, there you go. I'm going to learn still a little bit, because normally with the process that we have here at the agency is that they don't get that text sequence unless they actually schedule the appointment, which is the second part of the funnel. But you're actually just like forcing that as well at the start, which I suppose it doesn't matter if they've already scheduled, because it's just more than now like a reminder that like, hey, got your thing coming up. Cool. Okay.
And
so what was that process again? Because I'm going to write that down. One is like, you're going to schedule your appointment.
Thanks for inquiring. We can't wait to hear from you. If you're going to get results, if you commit to the process and you make it happen, here's what's going to happen in the next couple of steps. Number one, book in a call, your free strategy call. It's going to be 5 minutes. Here's the link. Step two, look out for us calling you. Step three, what did I say again? What's step three?
Trial?
Oh yeah. Get ready for your free trial. We'll invite you in if you're a good fit. And then step forward, like join the program. And then step five is like get your best results or something fucking lame like that.
I actually like that. That's solid.
Then another addition to that is so I've got a 2-minute timer on that. So after they opt in, it's 2 minutes later they get that. We email, so the email sequence is a more long version of that text. So that's within like 30 minutes or something. Then I send a 9-word email a day later, and it's like, what's your training goal? This is to everyone that inquires on a lead ad. And then third email is what the biggest problem is for most people. I talk about that. And all of these has a call to action is book a call. And then I do another 2 problems in emails. So that's 3 problems. And then the last is another 9-word email. And that 9-word email is, what's your biggest block with nutrition? So there's 2 9-word emails, the intro, and then 3 problem emails. That's over like a 6-day sequence. Usually I get a lot of replies to those. If you're getting like 150, 200 leads, like it's good to automate that stuff. And as Taki Moore, like he said, when I watched him present this, he was like, cool. So it's a complete like mind fuck when someone just gets a 9-word email out of the blue and then they're getting professional ones from you. So they're like, oh, cool. This must be like a real email. So the 9-word ones get heaps of replies.
Yeah. The 9-word email is the same thing. Like for our guys, for my clients watching this is the rainmaker. This is what we talk about, because it's literally can make it rain. It's so easy. If you've got an existing database at all, old clients or old leads that didn't convert, we literally send that version of it out. It's like, hey, are you still looking to insert their goal? Whatever. Hey, you still looking to lose weight and tone up?
Yeah.
Jimmy. And that's it. And it's like the whole purpose of that is simply just to get a response and open up a line of communication. So then you can actually then guide them towards either a phone call or booking an appointment or a free trial or whatever it is that you're doing for the next part of your sales process.
Yeah, 100%.
That's solid. That's good. It's just not interesting to hear your process. I definitely like the email stuff is good. Like we do stuff like that. But to hear that text message sequence that goes out that's different. I like that. That's really cool. I'll definitely give that a test run. So to now scale it back to the salesperson to wrap it up here, just to kind of like recap. to get a salesperson, look within your business first.
Yep.
Look for character traits and then train the skill of sales.
Yep.
Don't necessarily look for somebody that's got history in sales, because that's not necessarily always the best way to go about it.
No
because they're an advocate for your brand and what you're all about. So that's half the battle already there. Then you have your process is get a lead, pre-qualification phone script, get them price aware, invite them in for a trial. Then at the end of the trial, go through the few extra questions, deeper understanding of them, their diet, their goals, the struggles they've faced in the past, etc. Then go through the pitch deck. And that pitch deck had points of like the history, your method of how you get results, which is kind of like your method and your values, I suppose, revolved into one. Your testimonials, and talk about the stories of them with before and afters. Here's our program, and then reveal the price, and then that's where you'll close them into whatever offer it is that you're looking at closing.
Yeah.
And then the commission structure was they get $100 for that $600 or $500 sale, and then they also get a percentage depending on whatever their programs are ongoing.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I know there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we've covered, but that's all we've got time for today. So, dude, thank you so much for coming on. This is going to give a lot of people a lot of work to do, hopefully a lot of belief that they can actually then go out and outsource their sales. And it is going to take time, but it's well worth it in the long run because you're living proof of it.
Yeah. I wouldn't I wouldn't, it sounds super complex when you talk about it like that. Maybe there is a simpler way to do it, but this is working great.
Yeah. I just obviously gave it the big recap, but there's chunks there. I said it all in one go, but you chunk that first bit of the sales process, then you chunk the pitch deck, then you chunk the next pieces. But man, I think there's a lot of value there. That's crazy value. And I'm guessing if people want to hit you up and ask any questions, just look you up on Instagram, Helix Gym, or Facebook, sorry.
Either or.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. You can reach out to me on my personal Instagram as well, at @TimFrey __. Lifting videos, make sure you like the lifting videos.
Yeah. A lot of snatching, a lot of cleans. I love it. Tim, thanks so much again, man. Thanks for coming on. And guys, if you're listening here and you want your marketing done for you, or want to find a little bit more about what we do as an agency, go on over to iwantgymleads.com. You can go over there. You can see some of our client testimonials and the results that they've got. Be sure to go on there, book a call with us, and then we can talk about how we can do the same for you. Tim, thank you so much. And everybody else, I'll see you all in the next one.